Oh, hey everyone. Another green day, finishing the morning up $7,000. This is some nice momentum. So, this is my seventh green day in a row, and I'm looking at like $28,000 just in the last 7 days. I mean, this is a hot market. We're finally getting that momentum, and I am happy about that. This is going to be a nice way to go into the holiday week, the long weekend, Thanksgiving, a lot to be thankful for. Whenever we have sort of a long weekend or a holiday weekend, I have this history of wanting really badly to finish with some really good green trades so I can kind of feel good and relax on the long weekend. But because I'm overthinking it and forcing it, I end up having a big loss. So, you know what? I have to be really mindful of that tomorrow so I don't give back all of today's gains trying to go into the weekend feeling amazing. I'm going to try to just take this green day, $7,000, and you know what? Tomorrow, if I even make just $500, I'm going to be happy with that. And then day off on Thursday for Thanksgiving. Friday's a half day. I'm not going to be trading, and then back at it on Monday. All right, so we're going to break down all of today's trades in the recap, and as usual, any questions, any comments, leave them below, and I'll come back through and answer them later this afternoon. All right, see you guys first thing tomorrow morning. All right, everyone. So we're going to do our midday market recap here, break down the trades from this morning, and I am happy to report that it is another green day, finishing the morning up $7,174.45. So it is my seventh green day in a row. It's the 213th day of the year, and this is a nice big green day. It's definitely one that I needed. I'm just a little shy of where I should be tracking to get to the 40K goal this month. So this is going to help me, get another boost in the right direction. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring up my my layout or my my Lightspeed Sterling platform. All right, so you can see the P&L. Those of you guys watching on Facebook, I'm going to upload this to YouTube later. For some reason, I wasn't able to stream on Facebook Live the way I normally do, so you guys will have to watch the recap on YouTube to see the charts and everything. But you should be able to see here my P&L. Two stocks I traded. UUU, lost $1,000 on it, and then ANY made $8,000. So $1,000 loser and $8,000 winner puts me up right around $7,174 on the morning. So that is a really nice day, and it's unexpected. I really wasn't expecting to have a big green day like that. But now it puts me up about $27,000 on the month. So getting closer to that 40K mark, and it's just kind of slow and steady wins the race. I mean, that's what I always say. And today I wasn't coming in looking to swing for the fences, looking to hit a home run. I just came in doing what I always do, breaking down the watch list, found a couple stocks worth watching. ANY was on the watch list this morning. Didn't really think it would end up giving me an opportunity, but it did, and that daily setup really played out well. So it's a nice big green day. Puts me up now about $443,000 on the year, $778,000 in my account that I started with $583 in it a year and just about 2 years ago. All right, so I'm going to put this here for right now. Okay, so we'll break down the watch list, basically from this morning all the way to how I found those two stocks to trade. All right, so I'm going to run this historical scan here. So every morning, same routine. I'm looking for 2 to 3 stocks that have the potential to make a 20 to 30% move or more. Now, as it turns out, a lot of times we end up seeing stocks move 50 to 100%, and that's fine. But at a minimum, 20 to 30% is kind of what I look for. So remember the checklist. What does the stock need in order to have the potential to make that kind of move? Number one, it needs to have above average volume today. Number two, it needs to be up at least 5% on the day. That shows it's starting to move, and the volume indicates people are starting to buy it. Number 3, we like to see a catalyst, some type of news event. Number 4, we want to see that the float is ideally less than 50 million shares, and definitely, and preferably less than 10 million shares if we're really looking for something with home run potential. And number 5, we want to see if the stock is priced between $1 and $10, because that's the wheelhouse where we see generally the biggest follow through. That's where we see the biggest breakouts and the biggest percentage gains on the day. Okay, so this scanner right here that we run every single morning, this morning showed us a small handful of stocks, really not a lot that looked great. ORPN was our leading gapper, priced at $1.45, up 21%, 2 million share float, 130,000 shares of pre-market volume, and with a catalyst. So it meets all of our requirements there. However, what this one didn't have was a very good daily chart. So we pull up ORPN, and what you'll see is that this had the daily 200 moving average right at $1.80. And it came up, it tapped that level, and it faded off that level. So for me, no trades on it, wasn't interested. There were a couple of lower price stocks below $1, which I didn't care about. UUU was on the scans. I knew this one was going to be a little risky because it has a history of popping up and dropping, as you can see here, here, and here on the daily chart. However, I decided as it started to squeeze up that I would take a stab at it. So this one, as you can see, it squeezed up from $1.20 all the way up to $1.49. And I jumped in it at, this is my first trade of the day. I got in it at, let's see, $1.41, 42, and 43. Boom, boom, boom. 3,000 shares for each order, 9,000 shares total position. Wanted to see it break over the $0.50 of $1.50. Target really was like $1.50, maybe $1.60. Wasn't a huge, I wasn't expecting a whole lot on it. Ended up dropping down and took the loss, selling at $1.31. So it squeezes up here, hits a high of $1.49, flushes down to 25. I'm still holding, giving it a chance to pop back up, waiting for the first candle to make a new high, looking for that pop back up to high a day. Didn't happen, and so then I stopped out on this candle as it dropped below here. And so I, cut the loss, $1,000. Not the way you want to start the day, but for me, that's within my risk tolerance. I generally say that I'm willing to risk about $1,000 per trade. I'm willing to go down $2,000 on the day, which would be 2 back-to-back losers. But I also have a rule of 3 red trades in a row, and I'm done. So if I have 3 losses back-to-back, I walk away. Those are my 1, 2, and 3 rules. You guys can modify them for your risk tolerance and everything else, but that's kind of my rule set. So I'm down $1,000, and I'm kind of watching the market. I really don't have anything else on the scanners, but pre-market we had said a couple stocks to keep on watch. One was YECO. This one made a move yesterday. Remember, YECO spiked up to just about $8 on news that they bought a $75 million painting by exchanging 7.5 million shares of their stock. A trade. Now, 7.5 million shares of the stock for a $75 million painting means that they were getting a valuation of $10 per share, even though the price yesterday was only $5. And so short term, the price squeezes up. It moves higher. But it doesn't really seem to be holding up. I said it's worth watching if it breaks yesterday's high of 750, but it didn't, and so that was not in play. ANY was the other one that I said I would keep an eye on because we had this sort of daily consolidation, and as you can see, we had a move. Let's see, it was on the 14th, so that was last Wednesday, where this stock squeezed up from $1.70 to a high of $4.25. That's a big move, right? 200%, 300%, whatever it is. So it squeezes up, and then it pulls back for one day, a second day, and a third day, and it's consolidating. It's resting. And I was waiting for the first daily candle to make a new high. Now, we actually did make a new high, but it didn't hold. But what we had now was a little bit of a window from $3.09 all the way up to $4.25. And that was the level that I was watching. So I had it on watch, and the bell rings, and it opened a little on the low side. It kind of, wasn't super impressive. It was at about $2.60, and it's going sideways. And then I see it pop up here to $2.68, and then I see it pop up to $2.70. And as I saw the volume starting to come in, and I can see that on the time and sales, you can see this one here has all green. You see those orders coming in, and I say, you know what? I think this is going to make a breakout, and I'm going to jump in here. So I went ahead and took a starter of 9,000 shares at 274, 276, and 277. I then added at 293 and 295. So I had 15,000 shares. Now, what I ended up doing is I took a little bit of profit at 319 and 316. I sold some of my position here and a little more at 336, 323, and 329. And then, as you can see here, I pressed an order to buy back 15,000 shares at 336, and I pressed the order again at 340. 30,000 shares. How did that happen? This was an accident. What happened was, as I was pressing my hotkey to sell on the ask, I accidentally typed L and switched over to lows. And then I was like, whoa. So I typed back in ANY, and what it did is it automatically populated my position, and it took away the 3,000 share default order, and it changed it to 15,000 shares, which is what I had as my share size before I started scaling out. I didn't realize that had happened. And so I then am just watching the level 2 right here, and as I see it on this 1 minute micro pullback, drop down and surge back up, I said, it looks good. I'm going to punch it twice. I'm thinking I'm going to take 6,000 shares. So I punch it twice, and I get filled 15,000 shares at 36, and I get filled 300 shares at 40. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, it's a good setup. I see it pop up here to 56. I throw out my orders to sell on the ask, and I'm selling at 49, 50, 54. And I'm looking, and I'm like, wow, how do I have such a big position? That's weird. But I'm selling, I'm taking my profit, and then I realize that the order window is set for 15,000 shares, and that I added 15,000 right there at 36. So that was unexpected. But it worked. So that added an extra, $2,000 of profit, and I was already up nicely from this move here. So, $8,000. Probably if I hadn't, if I had just added 6,000 shares, I probably would have been up closer to, maybe $6,000 on the day on this stock, 5,500 or 6,000. Obviously, if I had gotten filled both of those orders and had 30,000 shares, I would have, it would have either had a really nice, big winner or potentially a really big loss, because you can see here it did dip down to 302. It would have been down about $9,000 on that type of dip. So, that's certainly a risk. I need to update my risk settings, but what I did do was I went into settings and I changed on, level 1 order, that when current position changes, leave all fields unchanged. When symbol or account changes, leave all fields unchanged. So after sending order, leave all fields unchanged. So I think that will be important. That'll prevent what happened from happening again. So that's good. And then messages, on Lightspeed, I'm able to put a message here for max share size, but I'm not actually able to do it, as far as I'm aware, for stock without doing it directly through Lightspeed and by calling Rob. So for right now, this is a little bit of I have a little bit of exposure risk, just because of the fact that, what if I pressed it 3 times and I thought I was taking 9,000 shares and I filled 45,000 shares? All of a sudden I'm taking so much more risk on a higher risk 1 minute micro pullback than I was anticipating. And I have the buying power to do that, which is, one of the other risk factors. I'm sitting this morning with $148,000 in this account. I've been letting it grow, just because it seemed that was a decent idea. But it means that I've got almost $600,000 in buying power, which means I could be buying, 100,000 shares of some of these stocks. Even though I would never do that intentionally, I could afford to. So I have to think a little bit about the best way to mitigate that risk. I suppose having now learned about this, how it defaults to your position size, not your default order entry, that shouldn't happen again. So maybe it was just a learning curve on the platform, and a good thing that I learned it in a way that didn't give me a big loss. But you know what? Again, it goes to show, regardless of your share size, the strategy is sound. Whether you're trading with 6,000 shares or 15,000, the setups are there. And scalability is also there. If you feel comfortable trading with 15, 20, 30,000 shares, you can absolutely do it. I generally don't, because I don't like having the inevitable huge red days that come with trading with that type of size. When you trade with 20, 30,000 shares, you have $10,000 red days. It is just part of the deal. Right now, for me, trading with 10,000 to 15,000 shares, I have $5,000 red days from time to time. I've had 2 red days this month that were both right around $3,000. So, that's par for the course. But as you increase that share size, yes, your green days go up, but your red days are further in the red. And I think for me, I try to stay within a risk level that I can handle. I just personally, when I have a day where I lose $15,000, $10,000 or $15,000, I really feel bummed out. And as much as I can say that I can afford it and that's true, it doesn't change the fact that it feels like a lot of money. And for me, those red days feel worse than the green days feel good. So yeah, I like having green days where I make $7,000, $10,000. It's certainly nice to have $40,000 green days, but I'm kind of at a place where I like having the emotional levels of trading down a little bit. So instead of experiencing these extremes every day, which I would experience if I was trading with massive size, I'm kind of just, trading more within my comfort zone. And that allows me to be more focused on some of the things that are also important, which is teaching you guys. Because if I'm at, my emotional peaks every day, that's going to bleed over into how I teach and how I feel. Last night doing a workshop from 7 p.m. until 10 o'clock, if I had a day where I just lost 25,000, that certainly would have had an impact on how I would have been able to teach and the mood that I would have been in and all of that stuff. So for me, it's just where I'm at. I try to bring it down a little bit, but yeah, so today, a green day for sure, and a little bit of luck. But again, it's more educated intuition, to be able to take those setups and maybe just luck that happened to be one of the 70% of the time that it works. And it would have felt like bad luck if that had been the one time, out of 10 that it ends up flushing immediately down to like 290 and then getting halted going down, and I'm holding full size. But, a green day, I'll be happy with that, and look to do it again tomorrow. So, progress is being made both in the small account challenge and on my yearly goals. And, I've got a little ways to go to meet that $500,000 mark, but which I've set for this year. I've got about $60,000 between me and that level, but it can absolutely be done. We just need to continue to see strong markets. So anyways, that's about it for me. I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning, 9:15 for our pre-market analysis. And then we'll do our trading. Tomorrow will be, probably a little bit of a slow day again, just because of the holiday and everything. Markets closed on Thanksgiving, half day on Friday. I'm not going to trade on Friday, so just going to be finishing up the week tomorrow and, trying to just finish with a green day so I can go into the weekend feeling good, the long weekend. All right, so I will see all of you guys back at it first thing tomorrow morning, and I hope you guys have a great afternoon. Any questions, any comments? Those of you guys watching on Facebook or YouTube, feel free to leave them below. I'll come back through and answer them later today. All right, bye guys. If you're still watching, you must have really enjoyed that video. So why not subscribe and get email alerts anytime I upload new content? Remember, when you subscribe, you become a member of the Warrior Trading family.